So guys, I'm off to the gym as per usual, and today I thought I'd cover a topic about my breakup, regarding my breakup, related to it anyway, and that is rose-tinted glasses or rose-coloured glasses. It's a term to describe optimism. So obviously when you've got rose-tinted glasses on, figuratively, you tend to view things in a more positive light, but it's not really, whatever you're looking at viewing in a positive light isn't actually as good as you make it out to be, because obviously you've got these figurative glasses on. And that's the same with relationships, very early on anyways. It happened to me. I believed that the girl I was seeing at the time was special and she was the one, but it just wasn't the case, because you got to realize there's many other people out there exactly like who you're dating or were dating in my case. And there's not just like there's not the one. Like, the one is a myth, because I don't think nowadays, whoever you meet first in your life, in your first relationship, it never works out. I don't think, not in the modern world anyway. In the time when my grandparents were around, were around like the 60s, 50s, that sort of time, yes, probably if you got in your first relationship it probably would have lasted. But nowadays, because of the choices and I don't know, social media, that's not the case. First relationships and whoever you think is the one doesn't really matter, because most of the time they probably are going to leave, because as a man you're not going to be perfect when you meet your first woman. Like I wasn't. I was still quite ahead in my journey. I was 20 when I got my first relationship, and I'd like to say that I'm a pretty capable, independent person, but I still hadn't had an experience in a relationship. So when I got into a relationship, I fell into comfort, and I made a lot of mistakes that I'm never going to make again. And you may think oh, who are you to be giving this advice, because you literally broke up with someone a week ago. That's the thing, I've now got the experience to talk about this, because I see a lot of young men trying to avoid relationships because they're like, I'm not at the stage I want to be yet. I haven't got the money or the body that I want. I don't have the social skills that I want to be able to secure my dream girl. But there's no such thing as a dream girl or the one. You need to get into relationships young, make the mistakes and learn from them, because you don't want to be the 30-year-old guy with a jacked physique and like 100k in the bank, and then you go into the dating scene, you find a girl that you find attractive, and then you're questioning yourself. You're like, is she actually here because she likes me, or is she here just because how successful I am? Was she ride or die or not? And when going back to the rose-tinted glasses saying, how do I put this? She's really not special. She's probably average. She's probably below average if you're a young man and you've just got into your first relationship, or second or third. Most of the time she probably is average, and you will probably be above her in, let's say, 5 years time, because if you're on self-improvement, you're always going to be constantly improving if you're sticking to your word. And I mean, being below average isn't a bad thing. You shouldn't just hate on someone for being on below average, because that gives you opportunity to help them improve too. But if they don't want to change, then you can't change them. So personally, when I got my first relationship a month ago with this girl called Jess, I believed that she was perfect solely off the fact that things weren't awkward with her. So on the past few dates I've been on before, things always seemed awkward, and I think that's mostly just because of my autism. But with Jess, things clicked. Like I mentioned in one first date, we just talked for 3 or 4 hours in the car non-stop, and we had a lot of similarities. And because I never experienced that before, I never really talked to a girl that I could really hold a conversation with for that long and relate to on so many levels. I thought, oh my god, this is perfect, she's the one. When in reality, no, there's probably about 1 million girls in the UK who had the same interests as me and goals as me. I just haven't found them yet. So, like, it's stupid because I remember she was in the car with me on the first day, and she mentioned that she liked playing a game called Apex Legends, and like the little gamer side of my brain, like 16-year-old me, came into action, and it was like, oh my god, she plays video games, that is so cool. And I was like, and then like the actual conscious side of my brain was like, yeah, it's not that cool. I mean, it's a bit weird that she spends 12 hours a day playing video games, but now that I look back at it, there was a lot of red flags that I kind of just went over my head because I had these rose-tinted glasses on, obviously. And I felt like, yeah, just because you get along with her and like you have a few interests, or she goes to the gym or something like that, doesn't mean that she's like perfect. And if you put her on a pedestal and believe that she is the one, then that's when you're gonna have problems, because she'll definitely know when you start to value her too much. Well, value her is the wrong word, but I'd say more depend. She'll know when you depend on her a lot more, because realistically, traditionally, especially the other way around, she's supposed to depend on you. If you're on self-improvement, most guys are looking to be more traditionally masculine and be more of a provider, which is what I'm trying to do. And when she knows that you depend on her, that's when things get bad real quick, because she'll sense that you rely on her emotionally to get stuff done, and she'll know that basically that you're becoming more weak and more in like a state of comfort, and then that's when she'll start to lose feelings for you, because you weren't the man that she was attracted to, if you know what I mean. Don't know what this guy in front of me is doing. I'll have to do it, overtake there. So yeah, she'll leave you because you're not the man that she fell in love with. So once you learn to take these rose-tinted glasses off after the breakup and start to really get outside more and rediscover your passion and hobbies, you'll start to realise there's probably a lot of red flags that you missed in the relationship that really should help you get over the grievance period of your relationship more. My grievance period lasted a grand total of about 2 hours. I remember the morning she broke up with me at 8 a.m. I remember crying for like 10 minutes, then clearing all the chats, feeling sad, messaging her a couple times where I could, which I probably shouldn't have done looking back on it, because you shouldn't really have to beg to get a girl back or convince her to stay. That's a lesson I've learned and won't ever happen again. So yeah, once I started talking to, not once I started talking to her, but once I took off the glasses, I realised there was a lot of red flags I was missing, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to realise that, like, this is something you can do now. You can get a piece of paper and just write down 10-20 things, not particularly like if you're in a relationship, because obviously I wish you the best, but even if you're in a relationship or post breakup, just write 10 or 20 things down about why she is or isn't good for you. So just write down 10 or 20 red flags that you have identified, or try and look for red flags, because the sooner you realise that the flaws that she has, also I'm saying she because this is kind of targeted towards young men, but this applies to women too, in relationships with guys. So So write down 10 or 20 things, and you'll realize, like, just like write down, oh, for example, oh, she vapes, or maybe she doesn't exercise as much, or I mean they're not really red flags, but they're kind of just like lifestyle things that personally would not make me attracted to someone. But in your case, that might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. But yeah, write down 10 or 20 things. For example, she was controlling, or oh, she liked to lie a lot, stuff like that. And that's just an actionable step you can do to help get over anything. Or even better yet, just get outside, start rediscovering what really, just start to really discover what can take your mind off things. So start to maybe journal or share your thoughts like I'm doing now, because sharing my thoughts like this really helps me self-reflect on the breakup, and it helps me get over it a lot more, put my motivation into something productive. And as you can probably see on my channel, I've started going outside a lot more. I've recently discovered that I really like hiking, so I climbed up two hills since I've been broken up with, and I'm planning to do another one next week. I think Scaffold Pike is what it's called, tallest mountain in England anyway. So yeah, rediscover something that you like to take your mind off it, because the more distractions you have, the less they'll be in your mind, and the more you can focus on the recovery and healing process. So all in all, that's most I have to say on this topic. I can cover a few more points now that can come to mind. This is something that I was thinking about. Basically, when I broke up with my ex, I like to romanticize a lot of the things we did together, like little stupid stuff like, oh, we created a Minecraft world together, and the little car trips we went on, and little cute things like that. But you got to realize that you can have those experiences with anybody and you'll still feel bad. Like, I used to think, like, yeah, literally as soon as I broke up with her, I just, like, it came in instantly, or just remembering all the memories and like the little side things that we did together. Like, I remember she bought us a little crime booklet where you had to solve a murder, like a little, I don't know, puzzle thing. I remember doing that, and I remember watching movies with her, TV shows. You gotta realise that, like, most of this stuff is like materialistic. Like, okay, yeah, you had a few fun times with her, but most of it was just materialistic activities. There weren't actual experiences, or I don't know. Most of the time, it wasn't ways you could truly bond with her, you know. This roundabout is so annoying. Yeah, you can have these experiences with anyone, so just because you share these experiences with her doesn't mean that she's special at all. It means, oh, she's quite average actually, that you could do these things with her. Like, once you're going on holidays with her and doing more deeper stuff, like maybe working out together, meditating together, or I don't know, discussing your life goals together or future together, they're more important events that you should be dwelling on, not little stupid things like, oh, we created a Minecraft world together, I miss that so much, you know. And most of the time, for guys anyway, it is mostly their fault if a girl breaks up with them. Really, it's mostly their fault, because it's mostly 50-50 at the end of the day. If a girl breaks up with you, especially early on, it's mostly because you did something wrong that you can learn from, and then probably the other 50% is that she was probably just not the type of girl you're looking for. She probably just didn't have the same values as you, or she didn't really, after a while, her true self showed, and maybe you didn't have enough in common. you probably was a really good boyfriend in your eyes, but maybe you just didn't understand how women worked at the time. Like, I gave her a lot of things, and I treated her special. Like the conversations I had with my ex, and like other things, like, I don't know, experiences we had together, and like, you know, like obviously sex and stuff, like that was all good, and I treated her like a princess, really, and I tried to make every time she came down as fulfilling as possible and enjoyable for her. But when we didn't see each other, I kind of started to lack a bit. I started to let my emotional side show, and even though I wanted to treat her perfectly, my version of treating her perfectly wasn't what really appealed to her. She didn't obviously like me being emotional as my way of showing my affection, so that's all I have to say on this topic. But you will learn eventually. Just watching.